Welcome everyone to this edition of the District 33 webinar series. My name is Guy Dawson and I am the District Director for District 33 Toastmasters. I'm a distinguished Toastmaster. It's my distinct pleasure, absolute joy to have my good friend Tim Mullins. He is a distinguished Toastmaster and the Program Quality Director for District 33 to talk to all of you about Moments of Truth, which is a program that I feel and many of us feel is really essential in the development of a solid Toastmaster club. It gives you all of the fundamental principles that will help you to run your club more successfully. And I think that anyone who listens to this presentation today will be able to have some tremendous takeaways that you can go back to your clubs with to help them be more successful in achieving the needs of the members, and also growing your membership, creating an environment that will be conducive to your club being more successful. And so I'm looking forward to being a part of this presentation. After Tim gives his individual presentation, we will have a question and answer period. I'll ask him a few questions that other members have basically requested or asked in the past in relations to Moments of Truth. And again, this is going to be recorded, so all of you will be able to listen to this podcast over and over and over again. And again, I feel that there will be lots of takeaways in this presentation that you will be able to instantly implement in your club environment. Tim Mullins has been a Toastmaster for nearly 16 years. He is a past distinguished area director. He became a Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster in 2009. Part of his district leadership experience includes district secretary, district club website consultant for 2 years, district webmaster. He was a president's distinguished club growth director in 2016, 2017. And as I mentioned earlier, he is the current District 33 program quality director. Please welcome distinguished Toastmaster Tim Mullins with "The Truth Is Every Moment Counts." The truth is every moment counts, Tim Mullins.
Oh, thank you for that wonderful introduction, Guy. I feel like I almost know that guy now. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into our presentation today. And as Guy mentioned, the title of this is "The Truth Is Every Moment Counts." So we're going to be talking about moments of truth today, but we're not going to be presenting a moments of truth. We're going to be talking about the benefits of moments of truth. We're going to be talking about what it can do for your club, what it can do for the district, why it's so important, and those sort of things. So let's just go ahead and jump right into the presentation. What will we cover today? I've already touched on that a little bit, but the first thing we're going to talk about is going to be what is moments of truth. We're going to get a definition of what moments of truth is and why it's so important. Second, why do we need to do yet another moments of truth? This is a question that comes up oftentimes from members of clubs. They will say, we've already done a moments of truth. Why do we need to do another one? So this question is going to be answered. Next, what are the benefits of moments of truth to the club? And finally, what are the benefits of moments of truth to the district? Followed by questions and answers. So let's just go ahead and get into it. What is moments of truth? Moments of truth is a club quality standards evaluation. If you want to find out what standards your club has, then Moments of Truth is the vehicle, it's the tool to help you do that. It's a club quality standards evaluation. Now, we joined Toastmasters to become better leaders and better communicators. And one of the fundamental basics of Toastmasters that we have found to be so beneficial is we get instant feedback. We get evaluations for our speeches, and that helps us to grow. So the same applies to clubs. You can evaluate your club and find out how good or how poorly you're doing in certain areas. So Moments of Truth is a club quality standards evaluation. What exactly is your club evaluating during Moments of Truth? There are 6 areas that Moments of Truth touch upon, which happen to coincide with what the area director is looking for when they come to your club. So if you do a Moments of Truth, you're already ahead of the game when they visit. Mentioned there's 6 areas of concern touched on. Okay, and the first one is first impressions. Why are first impressions so important? First impressions, when a guest visits your club and they receive a positive experience and they observe what you're doing and they feel welcomed, then they will return, and the chances are they're going to become a member of your club. As they have said oftentimes, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So first impressions are important. Next, member orientation. So first impressions is helping people go from guest to member. Member orientation is what happens right after they become a member. It's getting them a mentor. It's getting them involved in the program right away. So member orientation is the next thing that's covered by Moments of Truth. Fellowship, variety, and communication. You can make a great first impression. You can get them involved in their program right away and get a mentor for them. But if you don't offer a warm, friendly, and supportive environment, they're probably not going to stay. So fellowship, variety, and communication is the next area of concern in Moments of Truth. Next, program planning and meeting organization. When you plan your meetings well, if you plan ahead of time, and it's not the chaos of, okay, folks, we need a second speaker and we need an evaluator and we need somebody to be the all counter, and this is all happening as the meeting is ready to get started, that lends itself to less than professional circumstances. So you want to plan your meetings well, and that's the next area of concern touched on by Moments of Truth. Membership strength. Why is this so important? It's important because you want each and every one of your members to have the highest quality, highest possible quality experience that they can have. And if they're coming to a meeting and they're performing 5 different roles, it can burn people out. So membership strength, if you have charter strength membership, that's 20 or more members, then you can spread those duties out over the club and give a better, more positive experience for the members. Lastly, achievement recognition is the 6th area of concern touched on by Moments of Truth. And in the past, when we had the CC and CL manuals, there was a long time between the time a person joined and the time that they got their CC or they got their CL. It could be a year before they were recognized as being that award, having that award. I'm really excited about the new Pathways educational system because it's awarding and recognizing people after 3 projects and then after 3 more projects. So there's more recognition, and I feel like this is critically important to every club. But if they get that and it's just no big deal in the club, then they're not going to feel as included as they could. So achievement recognition is important, and that is one of those things that is touched on by Moments of Truth. Now the question, why do we need to do another Moments of Truth? Well, if you break it down, Moments of Truth is, a moment is temporary, impermanent, momentary, fleeting, transitory, a snapshot in time. So you see, a moment is not very long. The truth is a fact, a certainty, reality, veracity, accuracy, or validity. But if you put these together, you have a temporary fact, a momentary certainty, a fleeting reality. So you see, Moments of Truth gives you a snapshot of where your club is, how high of a quality it is for a snapshot in time. You need to do yet another Moments of Truth because that Moments of Truth your club did 6 months ago or a year ago has expired. That snapshot in time from 6 months ago or a year ago, it doesn't apply to your club anymore. So that's why continually presenting Moments of Truth to your club, to where you evaluate where your club is now, is so, so important. What are the benefits of Moments of Truth to the club? We talked about first impressions. If you do a Moments of Truth and you find out you don't have a guest book and you don't have name tags, you don't have a convenient meeting location, guests are not invited to join, then you see, after having given yourself the Moments of Truth, that you have some work to do. How would you like to go to a cafe or a restaurant and they had a sign outside, hot beer, lousy food, and bad service? Hey, but you're welcome. Do you think you would go in and try the place out? So first impressions are important, and that is a benefit that you receive from doing a Moments of Truth. Membership orientation. We should, when we get a brand new member, give them a formal induction. Maybe we give them a membership pin. Maybe we give them some other type of recognition that includes them in the club. You want to assign a mentor to them. This is something that is so often overlooked in many clubs. They just don't even think about a mentorship program. But each and every one of us needs to have a mentor or be a mentor to those that are new in Toastmasters and new to our club. You need to assess their needs. What do they want to do? Do they want to become a better public speaker? Do they want to increase their interview skills? What is it they need? Member orientation is going to find out what it is they need as a member of your club. Moments of Truth helps you understand if you are fulfilling this or if you're not fulfilling it. That is another benefit of Moments of Truth. Fellowship, variety, and communication. Do you greet your guests warmly? Do you have a designated greeter? Is it your sergeant at arms job to greet the people? Does anybody greet people that come in? Just a quick personal story. I went to a Toastmaster club in another state, so it was not in District 33. And I walked into the club and nobody had ever seen me before. Nobody greeted me. Nobody asked me who I was. Nobody asked. I was already a Toastmaster. I'm telling you that it was strike one, strike two, strike three. I sat through that entire meeting and it just felt distant. It felt uninviting. Is that how you want your club to be? Absolutely not. Moments of Truth can help you to find out how warm you are to guests and how open you are to guests, even if it happens to be a Toastmaster from another state or another district. So fellowship, variety, and communication is another area that Moments of Truth helps you to find out how well you're doing in. Program planning and meeting organization. With program planning and meeting organization, we are talking about the planning of the meeting. Do you have your program and agenda publicized in advance? Are you encouraging all of your members to give either manual speeches or pathways presentations? Meetings begin and end on time. You have creative table topics. You have special meeting events. You have an open house. An open house is a special meeting event, but you can have other things such as a speech-a-thon. You can have a contest. You can have what we at Camarillo Evening Toastmasters do periodically. We have an impromptu meeting where everybody shows up at the meeting and we draw names as to who's going to be the Toastmaster, who's going to be the speaker, who's going to be the grammarian, who's going to be the general evaluator. Wow. I tell you folks, I love them. They are great. And it really keeps us on our toes. You have to plan ahead you have to have a speech. You have to figure out, have to have a word of the day. So there are different things. It really makes you think when you do something like that. But it doesn't just make you think. It's fun. It's creative. It's different. And come on, don't we like things to be different and shaken up every once in a while? Membership strength. Does your club have 20 or more members? If not, then you should, as a club, be working to arrive at the goal of having 20 plus members. Now, if you've got a club that you're a member of and it's in the high teens, 16, 17, 18, that's pretty good. That's doable. But to get to that charter strength just helps so much. Because of your membership strength, you're going to retain your members better. You keep your club programs varied and exciting, and it will help to keep your membership up. And of course, periodically have a regular membership building program. Now, with a regular membership building program, it could be something that you generate locally in your own club. It could be something that your area or your division is promoting. It could be something the district is promoting. Personally, in District 33, we promote the Smedley, the Talk Up Toastmasters, and the Beat the Clock. But we go one better. Rather than saying you have to add 5 members in those 2 months, we will give you an award if you just add 2 members during those 2 months. And if you add 3, a little bit more of an award, and 4, 5, et cetera, more and more and more. So the district has incentives and programs to help your club, and all you have to do is tap into them. But if you do a Moments of Truth and you find out that you haven't been holding regular membership building programs, then perhaps that's something you need to think about. Finally, achievement recognition. I personally think that every club should have a huge poster size DCP goals chart that they put in front of their club every week or every meeting and check it off. Yes, we've reached this goal. Yes, we've reached this goal. We've reached that goal. And that way the club sees where they're going and how they're doing. We do that at Camarillo Evening, and it really helps to keep us on track. I know other clubs do the same thing. So this is something that Moments of Truth is going to help you realize that perhaps it's something you want to do and you just hadn't thought of it. The awards applications immediately submitted to World Headquarters when somebody achieves their CC or their CL, or somebody receives their level 1 or level 2 in pathways. Submit those immediately. That way your member gets that recognition. Publicize. If you have a website, publicize your club and member achievements. If you have a Facebook page, publicize the achievements of your members. Don't you just love to be recognized? I know I do. And so I believe everyone does, because we all want to achieve things. But when we achieve it, it's just so great whenever it's recognized. Nobody wants to keep their candle under a hat, so to speak. They want to be recognized. What are the benefits of Moments of Truth to the district? If all of the clubs in the district are doing Moments of Truth and actually taking to heart the results of that, they become more welcoming clubs overall, and therefore the district becomes more welcoming. If you do a Moments of Truth, you will find that your club will have an active orientation process. If you do the Moments of Truth, find out you haven't been doing it, and then act upon it, of course. You're going to find that your club is going to be friendlier, have more diversity, and open communication. And because of that, the district will have that. Each club adds a small part to the district. And as each one adds a little bit more to the district, then of course the district becomes higher and higher quality. With your pre-planned meetings presented with positive energy, you're going to grow your clubs, and as the clubs grow, the district grows. You're going to have robust clubs who retain their members. In District 33 this year, we have really been trying to concentrate on building clubs from within. We want all of our clubs to be robust clubs who retain their members. We know that clubs are going to lose members. It happens. Life happens. Somebody joins your club and then they get a better job and they have to move away, or they don't have enough time anymore to continue to attend the club. These things happen. Somebody joins your club and then their family grows and they don't have time for Toastmasters. Life happens. But what we want to do is we want to retain those members who are quitting because they're not receiving the level of excellence that they desire and deserve. So we want robust clubs who retain their members. And if that happens, the district grows. Clubs who recognize their member achievements. By recognizing your members' achievements, then that's going to encourage others to achieve things. And because of those achievements, your club will achieve more. And because your club achieves more, the district will achieve more. That is the benefits of Moments of Truth to District 33. Let's recap. What is Moments of Truth? Moments of Truth is a club quality standards evaluation. Why yet another Moments of Truth? Because your old Moments of Truth has expired. The benefits of Moments of Truth to the club is a high quality club. Benefits of Moments of Truth to the district, a plethora of high quality clubs. This is a resource link that you can use to go to Toastmasters.org and download Moments of Truth for your club. I highly encourage each club, each of you listening to this, to go back to your clubs, encourage your clubs to give a Moments of Truth. Encourage yourselves to give a Moments of Truth. If your club has not given a Moments of Truth in the past 6 months or year and a half, 2 years, take it upon yourself to tell your vice president of education, your president, your officers, your club, that you would like to present a Moments of Truth to the club so that your club can self-evaluate and become a stronger, higher quality club. And now for that awe-inspiring session of questions.
That was outstanding information, Tim, about Moments of Truth and all of its fundamentals. And we have a series of questions, not too many, but just some things that members have asked in relation to Moments of Truth. One of the questions that we get quite a bit about it is, what are some methods you can use to help your club implement Moments of Truth?
As I mentioned, as a member of a club, take it upon yourself to ask the club to allow you to give a Moments of Truth. If you give the Moments of Truth and then the club responds to that Moments of Truth, then they are going to find that, I think that they're going to respond to that and maybe not fix everything, because let's face it, some clubs are small, some clubs are traditional, set in their ways, and maybe they need a lot of help. But what you can do is you give that Moments of Truth and you focus on maybe 2 or 3 things that you can do immediately to help your club become a higher quality club. But it starts with you. It starts with you as an individual going to your club and saying, look, let me present a Moments of Truth. And let's find out where our club can improve.
Great explanation. Here's another commonly asked question. Is it better for a more experienced Toastmaster to present Moments of Truth, or could a newer member do it?
That is really an excellent question. I feel strongly both ways about it. I think that if you have a more experienced Toastmaster present moments of truth, then they know what they're talking about. They know, maybe they've given moments of truth 3 or 4 or 5 times. So it becomes something that they're really familiar with. But I think that it also, giving a moments of truth is a perfect and fabulous opportunity for a newer Toastmaster to get that information and present it and take that opportunity to grow. It can be a great growth experience for them. So my suggestion would be, this year, you have your club, an experienced member, take a less experienced member under their wing, mentor them, give moments of truth, and then allow that person to watch them, learn how it's done, and then they can then give the moments of truth.
I agree with you, Tim. I think that presenting moments of truth can be an educational experience for any member, to whatever level you are in Toastmasters, in development. I think that there are perspectives that you have on what works and what doesn't work in your club that definitely can be something that the members of the club can pay attention to. Are you a believer in there being an interactive aspect of moments of truth when you're presenting it?
Sometimes it just gets out of hand. People have questions as you're presenting moments of truth. And so you go ahead and answer that question, and then that brings up another question. That brings up another question. So I do believe in an interactive part of moments of truth, but you want to be careful because you don't want to stray away from the main theme of moments of truth. And so as a presenter, you have to be very aware of where the questions are leading you. Are they leading you further into and more positive aspects of moments of truth, or are they leading you away from it? And all of a sudden you're talking about pathways,
All right.
information of pathways or something. So you want to be careful. What you want to do is you want to allow questions if they're pertinent, but then you do want to get through all of the material. And if you're limited on time, you might want to say right up front, if you have questions, write them down. We'll address them at the end. Or if you're a more experienced person, Toastmaster, who's given moments of truth several times, and you know how to do it and you feel comfortable with it, you can say, okay, it's open for questions as we go along, but we're going to have to be careful.
We have a good friend, Tim, who has this statement that he makes all the time about keeping the main thing the main thing. And I think that that is something to definitely keep in mind when you're doing a moments of truth presentation.
Absolutely.
Here's another question. I'm in a club that is really having challenges with bringing in new members. Is there a particular aspect of moments of truth that can stimulate membership growth?
I think that if you are a member of a club that is having trouble getting new members in your club, then moments of truth, first impressions, is something that you absolutely want to look at. I think that is the first thing that needs to be worked on as a club, because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So when that member's coming in or that guest is coming in, you want to make sure that they're greeted warmly. You want to make sure that you give them a guest packet with some good information. You want to talk to them, but you don't want to overwhelm them. You want for not just one person, but 3 or 4 or 5 members to go up and greet them, introduce themselves, and let them know that they are absolutely welcome to that meeting. Get the guests to talk about themselves, stand up, introduce themselves during the meeting, get them to participate in table topics if they want to do it. Ask them at the end of the meeting, how did you like the meeting? And then the most important thing to remember is ask them to join. Now, you don't strong arm them. You don't twist their arm. You don't make them feel like if they don't join that they're making the worst mistake in their life, which might be, but you don't want to make them feel like that. So the thing is that you want to ask them to join. If they say, no, I'm not ready to join right now, great. That's okay. We'll welcome you back as a guest next week and the week after that, as long as you want to come as a guest. So you want to make sure that you're making those first impressions, because that is what's going to change a guest into a member. Now, once they become a member, of course, you want to have the high quality meeting. You want to have the membership. You want to have all those other things that's going to make their Toastmaster experience high quality. But first impressions, I think, is definitely the thing that a club that's having trouble getting members needs to concentrate on.
Absolutely. The stage that you set and the environment that you create when they come through the door is so important. And people, they remember things from their initial contact with you. And absolutely, I think first impressions are extremely important for every club. How about this one, Tim? We have a lot of clubs out there with very experienced members in them. And how do you convince a club like that moments of truth is important? Maybe many of them have done moments of truth presentations many times. They've heard them. They just don't feel like they can learn anything from hearing another one.
I would answer that question or that concept with this idea. Great. It's wonderful that you're experienced. It's wonderful that you have given moments of truth in the past. And it's wonderful that, you were able to learn about your club and to improve the quality of your club back then. But you have this brand new member here, or relatively new member, and they've never heard moments of truth. Maybe rather than just having them hear moments of truth, have them give a moments of truth. You've got 3 or 4 brand new members in your club that have never experienced moments of truth. Let's let them experience it. Find out what they can feed back to the club, what they can give back to the club by doing moments of truth. That would be my suggestion.
Right. And people who know a lot like to talk about the fact that they know a lot. And this is a great opportunity for you to kind of hold the stage for a while as a presenter and really share some of this knowledge that you've gained through many years of experience in Toastmasters. Oh, here's a very commonly asked question, Tim. Our club hasn't ever had an official mentoring program. How can we get one started?
First thing they need to do is they need to give them moments of truth in their club. And then once they've given the moments of truth, of course, it talks about mentoring. But mentoring, this is something that they can learn that they need from moments of truth. But if they've never had it, they've never experienced it, maybe the suggestion would be to talk to clubs and club officers who have active mentoring programs or have presidents or vice president of education or chief mentors from successful clubs. Go to these individuals, call them, email them, talk to them, go to their club, let them know how much an active mentoring program has meant to their club and how much it could mean to this other person's club if they would just at least give it a try. It doesn't have to be a huge undertaking. It just needs to be something where the person, that new person that comes in, has somebody that they can go to who has designated their mentor when they have a question and ask that question. Now, that doesn't mean that mentor is going to have the answer to every question, but hopefully that mentor, if they don't have the answer, has enough friends that do have the answer where they can go to them and get that answer for them. I would think that that might be beneficial.
Right. I think that implementing a mentoring program, it can be really simple. It's just about one member taking another member under their wing.
In my Camarillo Evening Club, we have taken the mystique and the mystery and the problems out of our mentoring program by declaring as a rule of our club that every member in that club has a mentor. So when somebody comes into our club brand new, we don't give them a choice. They get a mentor. Everybody has a mentor. We have 4 DTMs in our club, and we all have mentors. So I think that that might be something to think about for some of these clubs. Make it as easy as possible. Everybody has a mentor. So when a brand new person comes in, have them be given a mentor. Now, another thing that we do is we have, rather than just having our vice president of education take care of our mentoring program, we have what we call a chief mentor, because a vice president of education has a lot on their plate. So we actually have one person designated to be in charge of our mentoring program. So that might be a thought.
And I agree with you wholeheartedly, Tim, about the value of having a mentor. And all the most successful Toastmasters that I've known have always had mentors. I mean, they're having someone who's been down that road before that can kind of guide you as you're developing and you're speaking in leadership. It's very important, having a mentor. And I think I like that informal type of mentoring program. Even though it is formal, you're saying everyone needs to have one, yet it's informal enough to where people don't feel like they're really signing up for anything. They just got a mentor, and there's the program. All right, here's a question. This is, of course, relates to a relatively new aspect of Toastmasters. How does Pathways align with Moments of Truth?
As I mentioned when I was making the presentation in achievement recognition, I believe that Pathways aligns better with Moments of Truth than the old program, because as we are progressing through Pathways, once a person finishes level 1, recognition is given. Once they finish level 2, recognition is given. We have one gentleman, and I keep going back to Camarillo Evening, but that's my club, and that's what I know, so here we go again.
It's a great club.
There's one gentleman in my club who has just achieved his level 2. And when he achieved his level 1, we gave him 2 certificates of appreciation and completion. One official one and one from the club. So we really made it a big deal. And that then sparks interest not only in and gives him recognition, but it sparks interest in the Pathways program for others. So I think that Pathways aligns much better in the aspect of being able to give more recognition as a person advances in their Toastmaster career.
Good point. What role do club officers play in creating a better environment within the club?
I believe that the officers are the hinge pin. They are the critical factor in a club being successful or not being successful. Just my opinion. The thing that they can do is they can make a club so much more enjoyable and so much more worthwhile. Or, on the other hand, they can kill a club. That's harsh, but it's true. So I think that especially if you have an executive officers committee for your club, and you're meeting every month, and you're coming up with ideas, and you're coming up with ways to improve the club and to make the club enjoyable and make the club more dynamic, then that is going to generate a lot better quality meetings. But not only that, if the club officers are excited, not this, oh, I was voluntold to be the vice president of membership and I don't really want to do it, but I'm going to do it. Well, that's going to kill a club. But if they're excited about their job, if they're excited about Toastmasters and excited about participating, then that is going to spill over into the rest of the membership.
Yes, get your club officers well trained and continue to mentor and train them. A lot of the success of your club is dependent upon your club officers. I mean, it's really in a lot of ways, the core of your club. It's the way that it's run through its leadership. Oops. Got a little phone call there. How can Moments of Truth help our club succeed in the Distinguished Club program?
Moments of Truth is the starting point for a club to succeed in the Distinguished Club program, because even if a club is habitually distinguished, select distinguished, or president's distinguished, they still need to go back and find out, is there any place that they've slipped? Is there any place that we've fallen down a little bit? So I believe that Moments of Truth can be that touchstone. It can be that place where we can anchor our club to launch themselves to being a distinguished, select, or a president's distinguished club in the DCP. It's not one for one, but I think that Moments of Truth is a great launching pad for the club to, if they've never been distinguished or select or president, they can then, if they do a Moments of Truth, they can see where they're falling down, what they need to do to create a better environment, to create a more exciting meeting situation. And then from there, the educationals will come, the membership will come, and the points will come, and the DCP will happen.
Just a couple more here, Tim. How long will it take after our club does the Moments of Truth presentation to begin to improve?
That really depends on the club. I would say that absolutely depends on the club. It's like if you do a Moments of Truth and you're all just sitting back, picking your teeth with the toothpick, and you're just, oh yeah, I've heard that before, and that's never worked for us. It's never going to happen. But if you do the Moments of Truth, you see the places, the areas you need to improve, and you begin to implement some of them. You implement your first impressions. Maybe you don't have a guest packet. You get a guest packet. Maybe you Another phone call?
Call from Jeff Stroke to 84 Stroke 994.
That's a number that shall live in infamy. If the club decides that they want to improve and that they want to use the moments of truth to find out where they need to improve and then implement those improvements, they can see immediate results. If they see they need a guest packet, they need to make name tags for the guests when they come in and members. If they implement those things, they're immediately going to have improvements. Now, there are some improvements that are going to take more time to implement. And you can't eat an elephant in one bite. You eat it one bite at a time. And the same way with improving your club. You improve it a little bit at a time, little by little by little.
And I think recognition is really important there too, Tim, is that as you're having these little successes, that you definitely recognize them and recognize the members for putting in the effort to grow, because it's not easy implementing these things. I mean, some clubs we can get off track, especially when you've been doing things a certain way for a long time. But any successes that you're having where it's very noticeable, and I've been a part of many clubs that have done moments of truth presentations, and I've always found that it doesn't take long for you to begin to see that people are doing things differently. Mm-hmm. And I think it's huge that you recognize the fact that things are getting better and make a big deal about it within your club meetings.
I agree.
Last question, Tim, and you touched on this in the first question that I asked, but I want to bring it back because I think it's so valuable, and is, who in my club is responsible for implementing moments of truth?
Implementing moments of truth. Okay, just so I'm clear, implementing the different aspects of moments of truth?
Yes.
Are you giving the presentation itself?
Who's responsible for doing that?
Once the moments of truth is given by whoever gives it, then different parts of it, I think, are under the purview of different members of the club. I think every member in some way needs to participate in the improvement of the club. I think it starts with the officers. You've got the president, who, of course, wants to make sure that the guests are greeted warmly and that that there are name tags and things like that. If it comes to, if you're talking about implementing improvements in the educational process and the educational program, that's the vice president of education. If you're talking about a mentoring program, that could be the VPE, or it could be a chief mentor. If you're talking about membership, leading the charge for that is the vice president of membership. But the reason I said leading the charge is because every member is responsible for bringing in members, not just the vice president of membership. So there are different officers, different members of your club that are responsible for implementing the different parts of the moments of truth evaluation results. So if you're falling down in certain areas, certain officers need to pick up the slack. If you're falling down in other areas, maybe another officer or the membership of the club entirely needs to take up the slack and begin to proceed forward. So implementing moments of truth, in essence, when it all boils down to it, is really the purview and the responsibility of every member of that club, led by certain officers.
It's definitely a we thing, Tim, and we can all contribute to some extent. The things that you covered in the presentation and that we talked about in the Q&A, there isn't one member of the club that can't do something to help their club function more effectively, and we really have to look at it as the club doesn't belong to anyone, it belongs to us all, which means that we all can contribute. There really isn't any one member who is more important than any other member. Absolutely. We're all members of Toastmasters. We've taken a promise to contribute to each other's lives. And the Moments of Truth is definitely a supplement, something that can help you be much more aware of the things that you're doing and help you improve your club and the member experience.
I agree.
Anything else that you would like everyone to know about Moments of Truth before we end your interview today?
I guess one last thing that I touched on earlier that I would like to emphasize is if you are considering becoming an area director, then you would be greatly benefited by your clubs holding and presenting a Moments of Truth. Because when they present a Moments of Truth to their club, they are hitting on the 6 same areas that go into an area director's report. So it makes your job so much easier if your clubs already know how they're doing, what they're doing well, where they need to improve. So that would just be one parting remark, is that, you know, as an area director, and hopefully there's some people out there who are considering that, then encourage the clubs in your area to give Moments of Truth, and it will make your job so much easier.
Well, thank you again, Tim, for the invaluable information that you shared in this presentation today. And this is one of a series of webinars that we're conducting to help members improve their experience, to learn things from people who have been very successful in Toastmasters, as Tim Mullins has been, kind of the behind the scenes aspects of how you can really take your membership in Toastmasters to its true potential. It's by implementing these things that, again, other successful Toastmasters are doing, and we look forward to bringing you more of these webinars. Stay tuned for the next one.